Hi guys, Lihle Mtshaki here. It's been a while. It's been a minute since I wanted to do this with Mr. TS MNCUBE, which I'm really grateful for the platform and the opportunity to, come up and just talk. Just talk. Yeah, I have no any other way of saying it, but just to talk. Yeah, as I've said, my name is Lihle Mtshaki. I reside in Protea Glen, extension 12. I'm 27, but turning 28 soon. So I'm here just to, as I said, express. Secondly, also try to connect with someone who might be going through more or less the same situation as me, because life is a piece and puzzle, and it's all about unpacking as to what we are going through. So the whole concept or the whole topic about today's conversation is all about depression and anxiety and the root of it. So I would like to share story sam on how it began and me trying to, as I said, connect with someone who's trying to make sense of what is going on with his or her life. So I'll start, not morally start from the bottom, but I'll start on how I was raised and how I got to this point in between. So I was raised by a single, not morally single, but a married father. But when my mother passed away when I was like 4 years old, my father was morally a single parent. So he raised me basically up until a certain age. I cannot morally say raised because I'm trying to make sense of it as to where I am right now in terms of how, as a parent, how do you raise a child? Because we need to go back to the basics. Because now I'm trying to question myself as if was I being raised or was I being maintained? You know. So I'm trying to make sense of that. But anyway, I was raised.
Something
All right.
Mauti raised or maintained. Um, what are you speaking on exactly? If you must challenge just that, what created that confusion?
Okay. As I said, I didn't have a perfect, clear definition as to the two different terms, but let me just break it down for you. For me, as to how I've learned or how I came to learn it. When you raise a child, it's different from maintaining a child. When you maintain a child, you are morally like taking the child to, like maintaining with materialistic things, taking the child to school, buying child clothes, food, and all of that, and saying that you are raising your child, whereas there are things that money cannot buy. So you can't raise a child with money. You are just maintaining that child as to having the basics of a child going to school, a child having whatever that the society thinks which a child must have. Understand? But whereas the things that you grow to question yourself as to what's the love, and you having to know your child fully, when they are happy, when they are sad, and whatever that they want to achieve in life. and the principles of teaching a child as to how a child should grow. You know, I never got that, me personally. I was always at all, yes. I was always taught that my father, him taking me to school, him saying, yeah, ngiyakufundisa, yeah, I've tried. Naye nje self, I don't blame him because he thinks that raising a child, it has to do with taking a child to school, whereas it's deeper than that. So when you grow up and when you experience pain, you get to learn certain things if ever you leave room to learn. You get to realize it's okay, nah man, it wasn't supposed to happen that way. So that is why I said my parents thought that giving me money, doing this and that for me, they thought that they were raising me, but they were just maintaining me. Because right now, I'm alone personally. As I said, I'm 28 years of age. Because hence I said, they were maintaining me because I got to a certain age whereby they were like, you know, Pilwi one and all of that, thinking of ukuthi if uzongishiya nendlu ungishiye nayo yonke into, like you are raising me when you are just maintaining me, because the moment something happened or the moment I do certain mistakes, you'll say ngikukhulisile ngikuyise esikolweni ngikushiyela indlu ini basically uyangibalela ngezinto ongenzele zona empilweni. Why ungibalela? Because as if like I asked for me to be born or whatever in my case it may be. So as well as when you maintain a child, you know that you need to support your child through whatever that your child goes through, and you don't need to remind your child this and that, but showing your child love and also teaching your child that love that you as a child maybe you have missed along the line or along your growing or your upgrowing, because we make mistakes as children. We go through stuff and all of that. So for me it was that having to realize and having to learn that my parents thought that they were raising me, but they were actually maintaining me, because as I said, I'm alone. I live alone because age I think when I was like not to say it was a wrong thing, but you as a child, it's like ulahlele umthwalo wakho umunye umuntu, thatha umntanakho uthi hayi hamba uyohlala no-anti wakho. Why kumele ahlale no-anti wakho? Why wena uthatha as ubaba wena uthaso uthatha umntanakho hamba uyohlala nomalume wakho because of you are not getting along, because you think ukuthi wena giving imali umntwana what I've done everything nikeza imali, why you don't understand ukuthi that's not the real originality of it. You understand? So nami it's like that. Okay, why did I have to like stay with my brother for a couple of years, not even months, because I started staying with my father after my father left me and stayed with another woman.
How old were you?
I was turning grade 9 at that time. I think I was 15 to 16 years of age. But when I was in grade 10, I was actually like living alone. Even though I was living with probably an aunt or brother, they weren't present. They were not present because we're just doing G. You understand? Whereas me as a child, I realized that something lacked. Something lacked as to having my parents or even a parent uzonginikeza uthando, care, things that are not materialistic, things that you cannot buy, maybe a ShopRite or a Pick and Pay. You can't buy that. You only teach yourself as a parent as to how should I do it, or how should I raise or how should I maintain my child, as whatever case you may put it.
So Nibangagi, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I do
How
have
is your siblings? Are they
siblings
older than
because,
you?
as
Are
I
they younger
said,
than you?
yeah, as I said, when my dad left when I was like 15 to 16 years old, I stayed with my brother because my dad had that thing of ukuthi when I'm staying with my brother, ngifana nokuthi naye khona. And him thinking of ukuthi imali, it's everything. He left everything with my brother, imali,
So your
yabona.
brother's older than you?
Yeah, my brother is older than me. He's the second born.
Okay.
The first born is my sister, older sister. So I grew up.
About three.
We are all in all. My dad has 6 children. I'm the third last born. So uh, growing up, for me, it was very difficult because I questioned, isn't this me, as to why am I living like this? Why am I living with different people? You know, so which is something that we're gonna speak about,
Yeah.
in terms of how I deeply what happened and whatnot. Yeah. But I just wanted to, so, and then grade 9, grade 10, maybe I lived with my aunt. My a brother to my aunt. My father is a brother to my aunt, meaning that they're siblings together. So wangihlalisa naye ngahlala naye, which was someone who was not even present naye.
Naye as well.
Yabona? So that affected my upbringing. The
And your
way,
understanding really.
yeah,
of
my
family,
understanding
yes.
of ukuthi kwenzakalani, because my mom left when I was 4 years old. So naye umuntu enga-understand ukuthi how come do I have to come about and lose a parent at the youngest age kanje? You understand? So I lived naye, but she wasn't present because she was working and all of that. Nan. I don't even blame her towards that because, as I said, umthwalo.
Yeah.
You understand?
Wasiwona
Yeah. So I grew up with her, and then she didn't stay long. I think she stayed for a year, about 7 months or 2. And then that's when I started living alone
full time.
full
You
time.
had to again.
Yeah.
While
And
you're
I
still in
was
high
in
school.
I was still in high school, grade 10. So you can imagine a kid who's in high school, who has to feed himself, who has to clothe himself,
Do his homework.
who has to do his
Take himself to
homework, who has to wake himself up, or any uniform and all of that. Those are the things that you need your parents to assist you with. So, in all of the things that I've mentioned, Zang mentioned imali, but the care, the support, all of those type of things that I needed. And those are the things that I can testify to. We all need it.
Yeah.
As umntwana usakhula, we need it. But it's not something that we didn't get. And I know that it's not something that it's really like spoken about out there. So, as I said, when I began the episode, Uguti, we are all in the same boat, or whatever that you are feeling, I also feel it. It's me trying to make sense into things, as to know, man, so. Personally, it's not your fault as to where you are, because a lot of people, they're doing drugs, they're doing all sorts of things, they're criminals,
And I was about to ask that.
Yeah.
See, you are in high school, you're dealing with all of these things by yourself.
Okay.
What is the peer pressure scene like for you? Are you able to rise above all of that noise and resist the temptation of
Back
straying out of the
then,
way? Or are you also saying, I vele umzala akekho, let me just?
yeah. Okay. So I'll come back there, but let me just properly explain as to what happened. So high school, I live alone. Mid grade 10, maybe June, Yana, start living alone. Oh well, I was used to it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I did live because most of the things, besingazi ukuzenzela, ukuzayinela, nani yonke uzenzele homework, but I felt a lot of void as to like asking myself, where are my parents? Where is my father? Is this right? And having to say I have to be strong. I don't know if you understand the part of being strong. So being strong, it actually killed me because I wasn't supposed to be strong. Being in man, so I was supposed to live like a kid. So basically, I had to be a kid and an adult at the same time. So it wasn't an easy journey because I was introduced into a lot of bad things like alcohol, insango, even drugs if you can add it. I felt like those things back then, they were cool. I felt like those things are a better way to cope and just say, okay, I need this to, function. I need that to get through things. I was ignoring the fact of being phila kanjani or being khula kanjani. I don't blame anybody because momncane, you don't understand. Sasemncane. Yabona yo ingqondo yakho isa experience izinto isa experience izinto ngesikhathi esi1. So that led me into depression. I had anxiety, but I didn't know which this was anxiety. The fact of which this is how I lost my mother or whatnot. Basically, I wasn't dealing with a lot of things personally at that age. But I wasn't supposed to deal with all of that because I was young.
You didn't even understand.
I didn't even understand.
You can now say it was anxiety, but then you didn't know it.
I didn't know about it. So, as I said, in this journey, it has taught me, or where I am right now, it has taught me, and it's still a process, it's still a journey because I'm still trying to understand as to what happened and as to how I got into the situation that I'm in right now. Yeah. Being in this episode with TS MNCUBE, it gives me a proper clarification and not even a clarification, and it has a deep sense of understanding as to ukuthi ngikhule kanjani, kwenzakaleni ngami, and I understand. So it's me having to, because a lot of you guys are going to watch this, so whoever who wants to know about me, because I'm not much of a talk, I don't express myself, I don't speak, you guys need to listen to this episode and the following ones, or the ones that will follow, which case it may be. So salute, guys.